Stay up to date with all that's happening with the new national party, NNP. Send us a message via text or WhatsApp on 405-8683 with your name, email, and constituency. Stay in the know with NNP. Get updated.
Yes, indeed. Good morning to you, Grenada, Carriacou, and Pity Martinique. Once again, it is time for Hard Talk. My name is Sheldon Scott.
I'm Devon Romain.
And this is Hard Talk, 35 minutes after the hour of 10 o'clock on the Spice Isle of Grenada. And this morning, we're live on 97.5 City Sound FM, broadcasting and pulsating out there in River Road, St. George.
89.5 CRFM.
Yeah, 92.9 FM. Up on the beautiful, pristine Sister Isle of Carriacou. And we say a special good morning to those listeners out there in Petite Martinique as well.
And look out, Brooklyn, we coming. 94.9, We Noise Radio. Wade, good morning.
Yes, indeed. And you can also get us on Facebook, Hard Talk Grenada Live, and on YouTube on Hard Talk Grenada. Yes, indeed. And then we have our own website, www.hardtalkgrenada.com. Yes, again, wonderful morning this morning. Mixture of sunshine and rainfall, sunshine and rainfall. But here's what. Almighty, can you please hold off on the rain for a while? Just for a few hours. As we salute the graduates of the T.A. Marisho Community College who are graduating today. About 700 of them, Devon?
700 plus.
700 plus who are graduating today. Yeah. Hope to see you all graduating in a few years again from universities and so on. All right? Yeah, somebody does feel as soon as you leave MCCs to go and look for work. No. You see, that's part of the problem that we have, eh? Part of the problem we have is that people graduate and go and look for work.
And they get stuck.
Not only that, we have as a people and as a region been producing people to go and look for work and not people to create jobs. That is our problem. That is one of our main problems, you know. We as a Caribbean people have the mentality that we spend thousands upon thousands of dollars to educate our children.
Yeah.
Then after we spend thousands upon thousands of dollars to educate our children, we take them and we put them into a system where they have to go and look for a job. We ain't tell them, well, no, you ain't have to go and work for nobody. Go and create your own employment. You start something, take the education, and apply that to creating something new or starting your own business. Not many of us train our children, and then we complain when we see people from other countries and other islands and other parts of the world come and they start a business because they have been trained not to go and work for anybody, but to own their own business and have people working for them.
And even you have those persons who are wealthy business people. Most of them, they train their children to take over the business. Not to go and work within the business, to take over the business. So as you said, it is important that we educate our children, educate ourselves, right, to go out there to create employment. Not just for you and your family, but
self-employment. Because I can't understand why a guy gonna go and he comes through the primary school system, secondary school system, then he goes to TAMCC, specializes in auto vehicle repair, and look to go and find a job with a garage.
Yeah, with McIntyre.
I don't mind. No, I'm not saying that you don't do that. You find a job with a garage, but there must be an end game to the entire thing. So you find a job with a garage to learn even more, hands-on.
Get more experience.
Yeah. So if you know you want to specialize in Toyota vehicles, you know, at that garage that you specialize, you learn about Toyota vehicles. Even the same entity may decide to go in and send you overseas or send you to training courses to upgrade you. But at the back of your mind, you know that what you're really aiming at is that by the time you are the age of 40, that you're going to own your own repair shop. Yeah? And if you look at the U.S. economy, you realize that while, yes, there are a lot of people that go and they look to work for a brokerage firm or so, they're not just looking to stick in one position. Like, I see some people and your aim in life is just to be a clerk, just to answer a phone at an office, just nice.
That's always trouble.
I hate that.
Yeah.
And why I say I hate that is that I always speak to people and say, well, why should you just decide that you're in your 20s or you're in your late teens and you've decided that that is all you want to be in life? So you don't want to reach from the stage of being the person that answering the phone to the person who having the phone answered. You don't want to graduate from that level. You don't want to move from the clerk to the, for instance, if you're in government service, the permanent secretary in the office, or even the minister in the future. You don't want to move from answering the phone. You want to remain answering the phone for 30 years?
Apparently so. What I have seen, Sheldon, a number of persons within the our public sector and even private businesses and so, persons gain employment and they remain with that company or with government in one position for 25, 30 years. No
And you see,
movement.
some employers like that.
Yeah,
Some employers like that because
like
then
yes
they
worker.
could basically do you as they want.
exactly.
So if they decide that they're keeping your salary at $800 for
that's what
20
you see.
years, is $800 you're working for 20 years. But if you upgrade yourself and you gain the respect of them by upgrading yourself and so on, you could be working for much more. There are many people that are working for salaries right now that if they apply themselves, could be working for salaries much higher than what they're working for.
3 times the amount in
Yeah.
some cases.
So when we look at the students that are leaving TAMCC today, or the couple hundred that left Newlo yesterday,
Yes, yesterday.
when we look at those, we cannot in our minds simply leave it to the stage of, well, look at certain people going and look for jobs again. That is the problem with the mentality of
Exactly.
us as a people in the Caribbean.
Job seekers.
Yeah.
know?
In Trinidad, they had programs from OJT, all sorts of programs over the years that they've had to train young people into different areas and so. What's the problem? They're training the young people into how to do the jobs, but not how to manage a business. And that has always been the problem that they were having. They were training thousands of young people to become employees and not employers. So over the years, these young people, when you check their resume, you realize they work with 10, 20 places because they work here for 2 weeks, they work there for 2 weeks. And sometimes they're extremely good at what they do. They might have a problem working along with other people, but they might be the best body repairman. They might be the best upholsterer. They might be the best fella at tires and so on. They might be the best at engine repair and straightening and so. But they might have an attitude problem. Sometimes a person with an attitude problem, the best thing to do is let them work for themselves. Yeah, sometimes that is the thing. They have to work for themselves. And I think that is something that we as a people, we need to start getting to that point. We have to start talking to our children. It's not that I want you to go and work in Republic Bank, morning Republic Bank staff, or I want you to go and work in a Riser or Grenville Credit Union and put on a nice outfit and go to work every day. And I want you to be the teller. So when I'm the neighbor walking, she will see you behind the counter as the teller. No. The neighbor ain't even supposed to see you. You're supposed to be in the management office. Yeah, the manager's office.
You talk about that. About 2 weeks ago, I went to a particular bank looking for a niece of mine. And from the time I went inside of the bank, I was looking to see where I could see her. When I looked for about 3-4 minutes without asking anybody, I asked.
Mm-hmm.
And where she was? In an office, behind a desk inside, in a room. Understand?
Yeah, the one show off.
It's just an example. Instead of us training our people to be job seekers, let's train them and continue training them to be job creators. That is what we need in our country. Because every year you have basically thousands of students, right, leaving school, leaving, different universities. And what? You can't find employment. Create,
And you see, we oftentimes, as a people, we oftentimes blame others for our situation. You see me? I take blame for my own situations. Wherever, I take blame for my own situations.
Responsibility, and that's the key.
I would take responsibility for my own situations. But as a people, we tend to always try to pass off blame and pass off responsibility onto other people for our situations. So we have a situation existing in Grenada where we have a significant trade imbalance. Significant. Where we are spending billions of dollars every decade. Billions of dollars that are leaving Grenada that could otherwise have stayed here if we change our mentality and we change our approach to business, economy, and even our lifestyle, the way we eat, the way we drink, what we eat, what we drink. If we change
Our dress habits too.
our dressing, our approach, if we change our approach on a whole,
We do much better.
I see guys, for instance, buying these pretty shirts now. The style for some guys, especially middle-aged guys. I ain't seen guys in the 20s and so doing that, but more guys in the late 30s, 40s.
I'm glad you're saying guys.
Yeah, guys. Fellas.
Yeah, guys.
They're wearing these
Not men, guys.
pretty color shirts with the three-quarter pants and no socks but shoes. Right. And that's the style for when they're going to certain events and so now. And you know, those shirts that I'm seeing, I know of an individual here in Grenada that makes shirts much better than anything I've seen there so far. Much better than anything I've seen being sold out there thus far. And I'm speaking of Jessie and Jessamy. She has a place as soon as you're entering the Limes. The building right at the junction as you're entering the Limes. When you're coming along Grand Anse Main Road and you take a right and you're going into the Limes, her building is the first building on the right-hand side there.
Okay.
And she does some prints in nutmeg, and she'd have a print in breadfruit and different things. Just as colorful, even more beautiful, but local. The material, while the material isn't being made locally, it's being printed and designed locally. It's being sewn locally.
That's a start.
Yeah, but fellas still will go and pay double the price of what they might get from one of her. They'll go and pay double the price of that in a store in town and buy something else. And I don't think that makes much sense.
We don't appreciate that. And that's the next thing. As a people, we need to appreciate the things that we produce, the things that we ourselves, right, have a hand in making. We have to start supporting much more local. And there are so many local entrepreneurs who have decided to invest, whether it's in sewing, whether it's manufacturing, whether it's in the agricultural and the byproducts and so. But yet for all, they are suffering, right, for support from their own people. Right? There are a number of things that we produce here. We don't need to export it, right? Because the quantity that our people consume, right? We can consume all what we make in here, but instead we leave in what we have here, right? The locally made stuff and go in on the shelves in the different supermarket and pick up the foreign made. So that is not healthy. It's not good for us, right? And yet we still do appreciate what we make local. We need to change our habits. We need to. It's very, very important.
Devon, the internet is giving me a lot of problems this morning. Let me just make sure I'm actually online, right? I'm online. I do have a problem there. But something is not working properly with our... So those of you on the live, if you realize it's dragging or anything, I'm not seeing it dragging here, but just in case on your end you're seeing it dragging or anything, it seems to be an issue with the internet service here today. But I continue to say that we as a people, we have more potential than we know.
Oh, yes.
We have a lot more potential than we know. There should be no reason we as Grenadians are spending tens of millions of dollars on fish being imported into Grenada on a yearly basis. Yeah. No reason we should be spending tens of millions. And don't blame the government. Blame yourself.
Or the businessman.
The Southern Fishermen's Association out there in Grand Mall, that association there in Grand Mall, they started doing salted fish. They did smoked fish. We, the Grenadian people, bypass it and went and buy the one that come in from all, well, who knows, some of these countries, the Scandinavian countries and so on, came over from Northern Europe and Eastern Europe and wherever. We, the same Grenadians, we went and we bought that and we left these fish on the shelf. They had the salted fish.
Yeah.
but we wanted the bacalao from South America. We didn't want local bacalao. We wanted foreign bacalao.
Another amazing thing I see that is on sale in our supermarkets and so. And hey, as you say, we're not blaming the supermarkets or even the businessmen who are doing it, because it's supply and demand. Agricultural produce like cabbage and carrots. That's the only two I'm concentrating on.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine, look at the fertility of our soil, right? And the amount of land we have. You can tell me that we cannot produce enough carrots, local carrots and cabbage for the consumption here in Grenada. We have to import.
But Devon, it's us, the Grenadians, that go in the market square, and when we see the people with the local carrot, we say that too small, and then we look for the packaged ones that come from who knows where.
Yeah, and flow.
I don't even know. I can't say where they come from because I don't know.
Flow up. But then again, if you look on the other side, right? I must lay some blame too on some of our persons that are agriculturists, the vendors, the planters, and so. You guys, and you have to take that knock. You continue to sell locally produced stuff at exorbitant, amount. The price is killing people, because when you compare the price of the cabbage or the carrots in the supermarket to those that is in the market or a local market on the side, and so, it's much different, right? We need to narrow that. We need, as a people, especially you farmers and so that produce. Yes, you have to make a money, but you cannot kill the goose that lays a golden egg. We are the ones to support you. You have to meet us halfway, right? So that is why in a lot of instances, persons, right, who have the spending power go to the different supermarkets and will buy cabbage or carrot cheaper than what they get in the supermarket.
Yeah,
I don't support it, but
I understand.
That's,
I understand from that aspect, but you have to remember, when it comes to economics, it's supply and demand, and that affects the initial price as well. So if hardly anybody is buying the local carrots and so, the unit price of the local carrots will still end up being sort of high,
Yeah.
But if many people are buying, so they produce more, and you have more, and you have more, and you have more in the market, the unit price of the local carrots will go down. What can happen is that government can start placing subsidies, and they can start placing restrictions on the amount of the foreign one that comes in. But yes, government could do that. Government could come in and government could say, carrots that coming in, we're looking to reduce it by 50%. So we're putting up on the price of it, make it more expensive so that people wouldn't want to buy it. You could do that, but then you're affecting the consumer. Because if the local producers haven't stepped up to the plate by the time you do that, then all you're going to do is make overall the price of carrot high. So it has to work hand in hand. So the local producer would have to step up to fill the breach.
Yeah, they have to.
They'll have to step up to fill the breach. And once they step up to fill the breach and they say, well, okay, we don't need 500 bags of carrots coming in here on a weekly basis. We allow you all to bring in 250 at that rate, because there's enough carrot here locally. And then you put in place restrictions on how high the price can go for local and for imported. That could take place.
But you see, but I also stick on the whole question, and I stay on our local farmers and our vendors.
Mm-hmm.
You all need to up your game. You need to follow the prices. You need to be more compassionate, in my view, to the local persons who you want support you, right? And a lot of you does that. For example, Sheldon, you go in the market and you see 4 mangoes in a plastic bag for $5. That is ridiculous. A breadfruit, $6 and $7. We're killing our own people. We need to step up. We need to do better than that. And then we complain and say, look, the foreign things are coming in and people are supporting it. But no, our prices, right, and our whole customer relationship with people, we need to do better than that.
Mm-hmm. And we're saying all of this in the context, and we've mentioned the graduation of the TAMCC and yesterday on NULO, because what we have there are trained young people.
Yeah.
For instance, NULO, there are students that are trained in the hospitality arts there right now, And you know what they're going to be doing right now? I am pretty sure that some of them this morning are hearing this program while they're on a bus traveling down to Grandans to drop in an application at a hotel or at a restaurant. Yeah. That's what's taking place now.
And I hope you could just turn around and say,
Yeah.
you know what? Let me go and ask my uncle for a half acre of that land and let me start planting and start my own little business.
But not only that,
know?
they are trained in hospitality arts. What is stopping them from opening their own little restaurant? Yeah. Okay. Say what's stopping them is funding. The GDB has funding, and so. But you know what else is stopping them? That we do not have a historical mentality of operating our own business. Yeah. Some of us are looking at our children that are at home right now, and you're saying that one, I want him to get a big work with this one, I want him to get a big work with that one, I want him to go and get a job with the government, or I want him to get a job with SGU, or so on. And not looking at it as, well, why can't we see them past that stage? Yeah, you get a job with SGU. What about becoming a property owner that's renting to the students who are at SGU right now? There are people that are making over $10,000 a month in property rentals. And I'm just calling a low figure because I know of individuals that have several properties, and that's probably what they're getting for one of the properties. They're probably getting more than that for one of the properties right now. Why can't they become the people, instead of working with SGU and coming home with a salary of, let's say, let me look at the middle range there, $3,000-$4,000 a month. Why can't you try to see your child become the person that's not working with SGU alone, but they might be doing that, but owns a property that's bringing in $9,000 and $10,000 a month from the students who are going to SGU? Why can't you see your child as a person that owns the grocery that's providing fresh, local, organic produce to the students who are going to SGU? Why can't you see your child as the one that starts the laundry, that provides laundry services, pick up and drop off laundry services to the students at SGU? We're talking millions of dollars over a period of time here.
Yeah.
But instead of seeing that, we see our child as, oh, I want him to get a work down there to go and put on the outfit. Yeah, I walk to go and work down there. Grenadians, we had to change your mentality.
And another thing, again, that needs to be done, although this government has implemented a number of programs for young people to train them, right, in administration, in business and so. But I think for us to go a little further, while our young people are in secondary schools, we need to insist, we need to, send them in a direction, business-oriented, wise. And one of the things we can do, help them in secondary school to start preparing business plans, right? A business they may want to go into, you start preparing them how to prepare, that what you need to do and everything, and that will jumpstart them. So when they decide to go into college, and so they will get much more, they'll be much more educated, right? And thus the experience, they gain more experience. Then you have development bank that is there. They can move straight from TAMCC.
But, Devon, not only development bank. Let me tell you, that's why I keep saying, we do not have the proper mentality when it comes in relation to business here in the Caribbean. I know, years upon years ago, when some of my forefathers and your forefathers, because both of us have East Indian, well, all three of us inside here, we have significant amount of East Indian blood in us. When they came over to the Caribbean, they came over, and you hear people say, take your Georgie bundle and go. Right. The proper term is not Georgie bundle. The proper term is Jahaji bundle. Right? Because the Jahaji bundle was basically what you left India with. You left India with your Jahaji bundle. And your Jahaji bundle had everything in it. It's like they used to put all your local jewelry and your family heirlooms and everything. You put it in a little kind of cloth and you wrap it up. And that's what you travel with. So they say, take your Jahaji bundle and go. But as usual, we like to corrupt everything in the English language. So we changed it from the Hindi Jahaji bundle to Georgie bundle. So now you hear people say, take your Georgie bundle and go. But it was Jahaji bundle. Now, in that Jahaji bundle, when many people left India, they left with their jewelry and so on. But you think, what do you think the jewelry was? The jewelry was money in the bank. So when they came to the Caribbean and somebody had to go to university, grandma would take off her 2 bangles and she sell that. That is that one university education. Yeah? And she take out a ring, or she take out one of the anklet or something. That's that one school fee. And so on. And that is how they transferred that into education. But then when they educated, yeah, you could become a lawyer, but you ain't just going and work with a lawyer firm for the rest of your days. You have to own your own lawyer firm. So you work with somebody, you get the experience, you do X amount of cases, you make a name for yourself, and then you branch off. You get your own clientele and you branch off, and you have your own lawyer's firm. You might be a doctor, you work with the government for a period of time. Yeah, you pay back, you work with the government, and then after that, you come and you start your own private practice. Yeah? And that is the mentality that we need to have now. That's the mentality that a lot of us need to have right now. That you are not necessarily that you have to go into the development bank, but what do you have, or what can you translate now from static wealth into making an opportunity for your children and even yourselves in the future?
But you are pointing there, but if you check, Sheldon, the last 30, 40, perhaps 50 years, that same point you're making, look at the preparation that most of us have made for the future. Very little. If you look at the wealth, or even like property, that a lot of us, or the majority of us in Grenada has, is basically little or nothing, right? So that what you spoke about there was not continued.
Exactly.
You understand? It was not continued.
But
and so our children, my son, your sons, could benefit. I mean, we could still make that difference, you know.
No, but that's what I'm saying. We have to start working on the mentality. The average person right now on island, they get some money. What do? They take that money and they want to run. First thing, they buy a big brand new vehicle and that kind of thing. Whereas somebody that's thinking of the future, they may buy a piece of land. And it mightn't even be a piece of land that somebody looking at now, you know, because there was a time that people was looking at the land in Lanzapine as nothing. Yeah, there's a time.
Briar Picker,
nobody want that. Try and buy a piece there now, nah? Yeah. Try and buy a piece now. There are pieces of land, different parts of Grenada right now that people looking at, and some of them for sale, and people watching it and saying, but who go in there? Nobody ain't go in there and live. Nobody ain't go in there and so on.
No.
20 to 30 years from now, you're kicking yourself, you say, I should have buy that. I should have buy that, because they're not forward thinking. They're thinking of the now. They're thinking maybe even of the next year, but they're not thinking of the next decade. They ain't thinking of the next century. That might be the multi-million-dollar piece of property that your grandchildren end up owning. Look at Quarantine Point. How much you feel a piece of land in Quarantine Point worth right now?
US had a quote.
Yeah, piece of land in Quarantine Point worth millions right now, innit?
Yeah, it might be about 15 to 20 US a square foot.
40 to 50 years ago, who would have go down there? That was the leper colony. Nobody want to go down there. Yes, it have a nice view of BBC Beach. Yes, it have a nice view of town of St. George. Yes, there's a nice view of Grandans Beach. Yes, it's secluded. But nobody was watching that. I leper colony, who going down there? But right now, and the land worth a lot? Exactly. Because some people were forward thinking. They may have secured bits and pieces of land in those areas. And that's why I keep saying we have to look past the stage of just educate your children and tell them go and look for work.
Send them out.
Not because you find your son good with mechanics, you're going to say, okay, he's a mechanic. So he fixing car and thing. I have a big mechanic shop in the neighborhood. So we're going to ask that guy to give him a job. Yes. But in the back of your mind, maybe even without telling your child, you have to be saving. Because you know when the time comes, you're going to be buying bits and pieces of equipment and put down for him. And he working and he saving as well, and you're teaching him to put down. But there's another aspect to this entire thing. Teaching and learning the trade is one thing. Owning and operating a business is a totally different thing. You could be the best mechanic on the face of the island. Sometimes you have to work for somebody else.
Or you have to hire
management
to manage your business.
Yeah. Colonel Sanders, who was Colonel Sanders? He quote unquote, because they say somebody else that make it, but he quote unquote came up with the recipe for Kentucky Fried Chicken. Right? but he couldn't manage it. That's why it ended up in the hands of other people. McDonald's. They came up with the recipe, the two brothers, they came up with the recipe for McDonald's, and so this is how we're going to do that. And they was operating the first place in a specific way. McDonald's became a multi-billion-dollar corporation when they understood that, yes, we are the creators. We could create, but we can't manage. We had to get somebody to manage the company for us. And they brought in somebody who decided that, listen, this is how you need to operate this. We're going to leave you all your creative right. This tastes nice. All you're doing it perfect. That system works. But this is how we're going to make money out of that system. So there are mechanics in Grenada and so on. I keep using mechanics. There are hairdressers as well. That might be some of the best not only in Grenada, there might be some of the best in the region. But they're running a business and it keep busting. Why? They do not understand the art of management, and they need to bring somebody to manage their affairs, somebody they can trust, somebody that is trustworthy and understands business and so on. They need to bring somebody to manage the business.
You know, a very good example of a Grenadian who had set the stage, and not just for his children, but for persons within his community and even Grenadians on a whole, is Ellie Purcell. And I must emphasize that name, Ellie Purcell, from where he started to where the business is it at right now. Right? He ensured that he had his children followed in his footsteps, managing and taking care of the business. At the same time, right, getting persons within the communities and areas and so and giving them that opportunity to continue. I mean, look at Ellie Purcell right now, one of the most successful family business we have in Grenada. Mm-hmm. There's a few of them, but I use him because of the, where he came from. Mm-hmm. You could identify where he came from and look at where he invested in little pieces of lands here and there, and look at where the business is.
But Devon, there's also the other aspect of it, and Ellie Purcell is an excellent example of what I'm about to say here. Diversifying your portfolio. Yeah. And some people here diversify your portfolio and what's Sheldon talking about? What madness. Diversify your portfolio. Not because you have a shop and you're selling beers and you're making money, that is the only thing that you're supposed to do. Why can't you start a second business after you've stabilized the first one? After the first one is stabilized and it has constant income coming in and you have profit that you can use to do something else. So why you have the bar and it's running and you're making money? Why you can't buy a portion of land and start to plant and so too? Because food will sell. The earth will always need, people will always need food, animals will always need food. You must sell. You must find sale for it somehow or the other, or you must be able to utilize it and cut your own personal bills that you have to spend on a monthly basis. Why can't you, after a period of time, decide, like I was talking to a barber the other day. Yes, I, with Maras, was talking to a barber. And I was telling him, so why don't you diversify? Okay, you're doing this, but what says that you can get into owning a bus? And you have a bus running, so you have that income coming in and you have this one coming in. And after you do that, what is stopping you from trying to get one or two foreign used vehicles and starting your own rental company? So you have a third set of income. Because if Bill Gates could do it, why not you? Bill Gates, who is one of the richest people on earth, if not the richest. I know that's kind of switch from time to time.
He about 3 now.
He's about number 3.
Yeah, Amazon and somewhere else took him.
Yeah, but just now you can start to make money again. Yeah. So Bill Gates, who is one of the top 3 then, richest people on the face of the earth. 3. Bill Gates has several other businesses running. So he doesn't just focus on Microsoft Corporation, which brings in billions upon billions upon billions of dollars.
That was the foundation.
Every month, I think he's making billions of dollars. Yeah. But he doesn't say, okay, well, I have Microsoft Corporation. I could rest and relax and not worry about anything and I'll get money from that. No. He has started several other smaller businesses. In case Microsoft ever collapse, he ain't going broke. Nope. He have other businesses, and in case 2 of those businesses collapse, he still have more. Because he didn't say, well, I have that one and I start a second one. He has several others and shares in other things. Yeah? So if we don't start changing our mentality that, yes, you're driving bus and bus is what bringing in your income, but that outside a bus, You might have to build a place somewhere. You might have family land, well, a piece of land that you get as family and you get it under your name. Or you might have something else and you could have a building that you're renting as a secondary source of income. Or you open a store in town as a secondary source of income. That's one of the problems we have. We see things too in a myopic sort of way. We see it in a kind of tunnel way. That's the only thing I could do, and I won't do that until the day I die. I'm going to become 60, 70, and everybody will remember me just as a bus driver. And then they could barely pay for your funeral when the time comes for you to close your eye. No, we have to start thinking of business differently. Entrepreneurship has to become a staple of each and every Grenadian. Yeah?
Has to be. And I always like to stick on that LA puzzle example because, look, there is
the hardware.
The hardware.
Mm-hmm.
There is the furniture.
Mm-hmm.
There's the appliances.
Mm-hmm.
There's the fabric.
Haberdashery.
Yeah.
I get excuse to use that word for the first time in a long time.
Fabrics. And so there's a number. And at one point in time, they used to run upstairs, LA Puzzle, right there in town. They used to run a bar with an entire pool room. Had over 20-something pool boards inside there. At any one time in the day, you find 50, 60 persons occupying that, during the day. So he was able to instill in his children, and those especially his children, Vivian and Brad and Parry, all of them, the girls, look, we have to do this thing, you do this, you do that, and, take control of it. He has been a shining example of what an entrepreneur, right, could end up being. I mean, look at how the family, at these generations after him, is inheriting because he laid the foundation. And these are the things that we have to start to instill in our young people as early as possible. Be your own man or woman. Try to achieve, right, something that everybody, they least expect you to go after. You understand?
Mm-hmm. And again, the important aspect there that LA Purcell have found themselves also involved in agriculture.
Well, that is where he started from.
The agriculture.
Nutmeg and cocoa.
Arnold John. Agriculture. So the bigger names that you hear in Grenada, they always have this agricultural aspect.
Ramdani.
So, agriculture. Yeah. Even the Bains.
The Bains.
Agriculture. Yeah. And
linked.
now you're seeing companies, for instance, like, Andal and Associates, who have the agricultural aspect, both locally and regionally as well. They have the agricultural aspect. Somebody's calling. Let's take that call.
Good morning and welcome.
Oh, yes. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning to your co-host.
Yes.
Now, I sit here listening to you and I really digest in this conversation because it is so rich and true. But that is historic, huh?
Yeah, it is. I've been reading some documents from the 1800s, and they've been saying that that's a systematic problem that we have in the region.
Thank you very much. You see, I'm an example of this, and I know hundreds of people who have tried exactly what you see there. Ellie just lucky. Well, he is historic, and he succeeded. Arnold John tried, yes, and he failed to some extent. But in modern times, the thinking of the society have shifted. And we no longer think that kind of way. How do you bring us back? Because we seem to have lost commerce. We lost the understanding of management, and we have lost commerce. Now, how do you bring us back into that scenario when our people don't think that kind of support? They think pull down and drag down. So how do you get us back to understanding who we are, our role and responsibility to each other, and to help each other to build? How do you get it? I have been trying for years and years and years with family and friends, and it is so difficult doing the best thing. Okay? How do you get people to understand that it's in their interest to support their own, to protect their own, in order for us to survive? Because it's a question of survival, We're going down a road that is not long from now. We will not be a surviving species.
Nope.
So how
Extinct.
do you convey to our people the importance of supporting each other for survival in this dispensation, I would like to hear so.
All right, my friend. Thank you. And you see,
regionally, I keep saying regionally because our school systems are linked. They do the CSEC exam, the CXC exams, and so on. They're linked. And there has to be a revolutionary change in the way that we operate our school systems throughout the Caribbean. There has to be a change. There's no if, what, or but about that. There has to be a change in the way throughout the Caribbean. We're talking from the Bahamas and Bermuda, come right down to Suriname and Guyana. There has to be a systematic change in the way that we operate our school system. And entrepreneurship needs to be taught at all levels. That's in my view. Entrepreneurship needs to be taught from the primary school level, come right up. From the primary school level. Yeah. In the United States, I was there in Houston, Texas. I met with some people from Google, and they had a program in which they were providing funding. I think it was as small as $25 to groups of little children for them to start a lemonade stand. And they would start that, and from that, they would develop, and they gave all of them bank accounts and so. And they would buy the little sugar and the lemons, and they have the water, and they set up a stand, and they're selling the lemonade when the place hot and so on. And these little children were learning now how to operate a business. Not that they had to go and work for anybody, but that they could make money on their own. So they don't have to go and beg for a job somewhere, even if it's just to make that and sell. That they could make it and sell. They were teaching them the importance of entrepreneurship and being able to own and manage a business, but also how to manage the money.
Yep,
you could own the business and manage it properly, but if you can't manage the money, you're in problem still.
Yeah. You know,
we have a caller before. Hold the point.
Good morning and welcome. Good
Hello,
morning.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
How are you guys?
Hey, quite fine.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yes, we're hearing you. You go ahead.
Yes, Sheldon, why there always a short-term, should I use the word short-term policy or people like, for example, a government or anybody who will do a road, they will just do a 6-feet road or 8-feet road. You know, or they just go build a house where there is no road, you know, and things of that nature. They don't think broad-mindedly. In a sense, never look at the long-term future of whatever they are doing. They just do it because they're just doing it. They're building a house, probably there's no proper facility of water or electricity, and it comes maybe after, and then they complain about the government, this and that, whatnot. And why it is like that? I mean, I think people should be more informed, more constructive in making the decisions before doing all these things. Always in Grenada, if you have a problem, that they always think for short term, nothing long term planning. Many times you see that happening.
Mm.
You know.
I think you see one of the things that we have here is that Grenadians have a rebellious spirit. It has always been. We always kind of rebellious. We don't like authority, and we don't like authority figures. That's just generally us as a people. That's the mentality that we have. That's why we did what we did during Fedon time. And that's why Gary was able to do what he did. That's why the revolution has been able to do what it did. We always have a sort of rebellious and revolutionary spirit. And that says that when we decide we go in and build there, we don't like nobody tell us we can't build there, you know. And even if you explain to us for the national good why you shouldn't build there, we still find as we right, we are Grenadian, we could build there. It's just part of our mentality and our makeup. And all of these things need to be addressed if we have to move forward as a people.
No, it's because, sorry to say this, but it's a major problem all around, because you see, then it all belongs to the government. The government, this one is not the government, it's you. The government can't think for everybody. Government can't do everything for everybody. Government cannot provide jobs for everybody. It is you, the individual, has to be uplifting yourself. You know, at the same time, there must be plans and policies that, okay, you cannot build a house like in this area, you cannot do certain things in this area. For example, you see a lot of people are cutting rocks in this south. Mm-hmm. And when you look at it, some of the time they cut flush on the other person's boundary. Then they have to go and put up a massive wall, which costs a lot of money. I mean, all these things should and must be regulated. Mm-hmm. You know, people just go do things, man. It's not nice. We must have a long-term planning across the board.
When you try to regulate, then somebody starts to cry political foul and they start to say, you hear all kind of radio program and you hear, well, that person, cousin, brother, sister, niece, nephew was a supporter of the NDC and that is why they don't want them to do that.
Yeah, that is, you see, that is, I do believe in that. That is gossip. You see, if you want to move on in life, you have to think broad-minded. And because, for example, the roads itself, if we do not start planning from now on, the next 5 years down the road, it's going to be more problem for us. It's a simple example because everybody wants to drive, everybody wants a vehicle. But where are the roads?
Yes, my brother. All right. Thank you very much.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, yes, no one is abdicating the responsibility of any government over the years to set certain things in place. Nobody is saying that. But I'm saying that we as a people, we have to start to change the way that we perceive, the way that we think, especially when it comes to agriculture. Everybody talking, okay, mango season, one set of mango on the ground. And you hear caller after caller, commenter after commenter. You look on social media, you look on the newspapers, you look all over, and person after person speaks about the problem, but not the solution, and not being part of the solution. So I was doing some research recently, and the amount of different things that you could do with that seaweed. People complain, oh, the seaweed, there's a lot of things that you could do with the seaweed. And it's a resource that's readily available, that nobody just decide that I'm going to try and invest and start small and see how I could do that and build a business out of it. In fact, for something I was looking at yesterday, if anyone was to get into that, I'm not going to speak much because next thing you know, I might have to get into it. But if that becomes a area that people are using the seaweed for, Devon, I could guarantee you, people going to be praying for seaweed to come in. They'll be praying for it to come. They wouldn't want it to stop.
You definitely will find something because we have the raw materials.
Yeah,
right
and it's free.
It's free.
Oh, everything.
Good morning.
Morning.
Yeah. Brother Sheldon, one of the things again, we poor people, and okay, we Grenadians. Sometimes we walk in, and then we have planned where we go open an account to save some money. But we want to start like if you go and open an account in any financial institution with $50. No, we will find out, that's too small. We want to open an account with $200, $300. I know what we find happening. We never open an account because we never have the $300 to open an account. Right? I don't want people to know that in life, you start small and you end up big. You can't start big on to end up small. You start small. Right? Don't be proud. Right? But you want to open an account. Once you start to open an account, you start small, then you go grow. Right? So this is what I mentality. We want to start big. We want to open an account. We find it's hard to go and stop in our line to open an account with $50. But once you open an account with $50 or $10, and you save that $10 and you don't take out in it, and everyone to go to add to it, you grow it. Right? But what we want to start with $300 and you never open an account, which will benefit you more. Because when you put the $10, you always put in, it benefits you more. And then when you plan to put $200, you don't end up putting nothing. You never have a bank account. So I think at the time we have to understand that there are a lot of great businessmen that start small and they develop. Right? So I do believe if we really want to open a bank account and to save some money, we have to understand that we have to start small to develop.
Thank you very much,
all right, my friend. You know, Sheldon, as we are there, and most of the persons and even the things that we talk about, they are agriculturally, they linked with agriculture. I'll give you another example, typical Grenadian example, right, of what businesses should be from when it started and where it is at now. Decall, for example.
Yeah.
Decall was two brothers, right? The one that's there presently, and there was another one. I don't know if he's still alive. They came to Grenada somewhere along in the 60s, right, from St. Vincent, right, Beckway, one of these places. And they came into Grenada here and invested in a small piece of land where that gas station is. Well, the gas station is, river used to run all through there, Sheldon. River and all sort of things. And they started this business here. Two things they started with. And I can remember that, as a little boy growing up. Byproducts from agriculture. the jam and jelly and so. Decol had a small manufacturing, that thing they produce in. Also, garments. And he still does it.
Yeah, they still do the garments.
They got involved in manufacturing garments. The business here in Grenada, the support here in Grenada was not a thing, but they used to export back to St. Vincent and some of the other islands. So from there, right, that businessman, Decol, we're watching him right there and see where he's at now. But if you know where he started, and look at where he's at, he divests. He's into gas, he's into groceries, supermarket, and so he's still into the garments and everything like that. He's into the shipping, right, a shipping agent and everything like that. So you see, after a number of years, he didn't just stay right there.
You don't make money by sticking to just one business.
Yeah.
Jonas
example.
Brown and Hubbard's hardware.
Yeah.
They have supermarket. They have all sorts of things. They have food fair. They have mall. They have all sorts of different things. Huggins again. Their hardware division, automotive division. Hubbard's are the automotive division. You do not make money by having one business and stick to just that. When that business mash up or gone through, that's the end of you.
Renwick and Thompson. So there are a number of examples that are right in front of us, right? And I'm urging young people to start, despite the education you may get, and we clamoring for the education system to tweak a little bit to bring it in line, right, with what we want. And so, but as young people growing up, look at the examples of persons, right, within your community, within your country, who had and have businesses and are examples, right, to what we want to see Grenada become in the next 20, 30, 40 years in a truly independent country.
Devon, before we go further now, it's now 27 minutes after the hour of 11, and we are not leaving the issue. We're coming back to the issue, but I think it's just two important things that I must say and something else, because we kind of went straight into it this morning. And we're going to take your calls. I see the phone lines going off. Both of them, I see them going off. We're going to take your calls in a little while.
And to those of you on the live, good morning to you. I won't forget you.
No, we're reading your comments. We're reading your comments, Hannah and Chris and Denise and all of you. I'm seeing Louisa is there and so on. We're reading your comments.
And everybody.
But I need to say this because it's also a product of Grenada. Yeah. We have some strong fellas down here who are also a product of Grenada. You know Damian Daniel?
Oh, they again?
He ain't gone yet. But he had to go next week. And he need everyone support to go. Damian Daniel going out there to represent Grenada. 15-0 so far, yes? 15 straight. 15 straight victories. Everything he has, the last 15 events he has gone to. Regionally and internationally he has won. And now he's going out to the IFBB.
You sure you don't follow in the ANP party?
Leave the man out of politics. Leave the man out of politics.
But I mean, when you see certain things, you really want to go and achieve that too, you know. So I think that's one of the feet you want.
But he's 15-0.
Yes.
Right? He's heading out to the International Federation of Bodybuilding and Fitness. They have a competition that's coming up in St. Martin, and he needs support because it's difficult. Because remember, what he has to do is he has to constantly eat throughout the day to get to the weight that he has to be, and the body mass index.
Man.
And he doesn't want to be carrying a lot of water, and so he has to be eating specific things at specific times, along with the exercises. Not just go in the gym and push iron and exercise and
Discipline.
It's how you eat. So you would find that there are certain foods that he has to eat a lot of as it's coming up. Then as you get closer, he has to drop off certain things. And then just before the competition, there are certain things that he has to eat. And so on. He has to maintain a certain salt level, a certain sugar. Yeah, he has to maintain all these things. It is expensive to do. But when he goes out there, he properly represents the island of Grenada. He is someone that Grenada can continue to be extremely proud of. And I'm asking you all to support Damian Daniel. I can even get his number, Call him on 538-2378. Call Damian. Whichever way you want to support him, whether It's you're a fisherman and you want to supply fish. Or you want to supply meat and so because
poultry, especially chicken.
Protein.
Yeah.
He has to get up 2 and 3 in the morning and eat. He has a specific, he had to time him, so he had to get up and eat at a specific time. And he had to weigh everything, It's not just get up and eat,
You can't eat too much or it must be standardized.
Seasoning and thing, that outside, he has to weigh this thing and he has to eat it at specific times. So please, folks, if you can support Damien, I'm just asking you, it just came back to mind. I said, let me let you all know he has the last 15 straight bodybuilding competitions. This young Grenadian, a police officer by profession, has won every single one. Not come second and third, he has won them.
15 on nice belt.
In fact, it get a stage now when certain man here go in competition, they ain't showing up.
Let me ask
one or two he had to go to and thing, and when the time come and them fellas and them, nah boy, I ain't going to take that licks today.
Let me ask a question. What does Damien and NNP has in common?
Both of them in Grenada. All right, I'll leave it right there. I'm not tying the man to no politics.
Originally from Grenada.
Right. Leave the man out of the politics.
And they're always victorious.
Leave the man out of the politics. So, folks,
when he's a policeman, to let guy people know he's a police officer, and they really need your support.
Yeah.
We need all our support.
I don't even care what political party support. 538-2378. Take that number. Call Damien. Support him. Even if it's to help him with his flight, his ticket to go, even if it's to help him with the food stuff that he needs and so on, to keep himself operated. 538-2378. Whether it's a $50 you're giving towards, that might be the bicep that you're handling there. Or you might give 150, that might be a tricep. You understand? Or you might might say, I find your cash, I'm looking at a little small boy. Let me give you a look at something to help with that. And you might give him a 250, whatever it is, but you can help Damien.
And especially the business community, we asking, all Grenadians, but especially our business community.
Help him.
Right? Help him out.
538-2378, call Damien.
And Damien, Hannah said to pass and check, So,
Before we go back onto the issue that we were discussing, and there's a lot to discuss under that issue as well still. We're not leaving it off, I saw the calls. We're going to take your calls, everything. Grenada's Grand Anse Beach has been voted number 1 by Condé Nast Traveler. I don't think a lot of people realize just how big that is. Out of the 20 best beaches in the world, the first one they call Grenada, Grand Anse Beach. And here's exactly what they say. You'll find no shortage of beautiful beaches in Grenada, but tranquil, sheltered Grand Anse Beach is one of the best. 2 miles of milky white sand on the western leeward side of the island. It's a short water taxi ride from the capital of St. George's and is overlooked by some of Grenada's finest hotels. You won't want for anything here, whether it's goblet-sized G&Ts, whatever that is, market stalls or seahorses that swoosh around snorkelers. Because after Grand Anse Beach, they gone to Hawaii, then Ireland, then they reach to French Polynesia, they reach to Greece, Brazil, Canada, the Seychelles, Fiji, Philippines, Mauritius, the Galapagos Islands, Australia, let me see where else. Then they hit the Caribbean again at number 14, Barbuda. Then Costa Rica, Australia again, Namibia, North Carolina, USA, Iceland, Taiwan at number 20. Only 2 from the Caribbean. Grenada at number 1 and Barbuda, I believe it is, at number 13.
Wow.
So Grenada, No, we're at Barbuda at number 14. Pink Sand Beach in Barbuda at number 14.
Pink Sand.
So Grenada rated number 1 on Condé Nast Traveler. And that's, if you know Condé Nast Traveler and you're into the tourism industry, you know how important and how well-known and well-respected Condé Nast Traveler is. And for them to be saying that about Grenada, that's big. That's massive, That's really, really massive. All right, and the phone numbers, Devon. We didn't give the phone numbers earlier. 440-7377.
And 347-329-3101.
34 minutes after the hour 11.
And if you just before we go back into it, this one is a sort of somber thing, but I would really like to extend condolences to the Lazarus family. of paradise. Betty and Lazarus and our entire family on the passing of their brother, family member and so. And we really want to extend, right, our condolences and so to all of you. And hey, I always say, God is always watching and He's with you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yes, indeed. Now, in addition to that, right, while we've been speaking about all of the developments and so on and the importance of entrepreneurship and so, one of the things that were noted at a scientific conference recently was the lack of scientific papers and so coming out of the Caribbean region. We're not having too much of that coming out right now. I think we have a call online.
Good morning and welcome.
Oh, yes. Good morning once again.
Yes, my friend.
Now, my 30 seconds. Now, the conversation the people who came here and developed, which is Mr. DeCall, and yes, he started and expanded. You forget the Hadid.
Oh, yes.
The Hadid started with water, and I used to supply them with some water and furniture too, but they started with the wrought iron and the textile.
Yep.
And look at where they are today.
Yeah.
Renting back business spaces to Grenadians. Now, I want to mention in passing, you mentioned Grenada as being the best beach in the world. What we have a beach they call Bungay. It's Mongi, but we call it Bungay in Malmong St. David's. That's a beach that we're currently upgrading. Very beautiful white sand. I think it's second to Grenada. So,
I have to find that one. I haven't been on that one before.
We're currently there. We just be there every Wednesday. We're upgrading this on the road. We're trying to get the government to redo the road because the road was pitch road and then it's really, really deteriorated. We're getting them to, trying to get them to resuscitate that. We have a problem there in getting those material from the Ministry of Works and that area. But we're trying to bring this beach back to what it used to be because it's one of the better beaches in St. David's.
Which part of St. David's you said again?
That is when you're going down Malmont, if you know Malmont pasture.
Yes.
Right, you're going down that area.
You're passing Malmont pasture straight, then going down.
Yes, then you have the first gap to the right, that is the Malmont Bay. That one we have already resuscitated that one. And that's when the shallow is being Grenada for bathing. And then you get the next gap, which is Bungay. And you go right down. The road is not drivable. We're trying to get it upgraded now. But the beach is beautiful. We're almost finished. We're about 60% upgrading of the beach, cutting all the small trees and so. So it's ready for bathing now, but you can't drive a vehicle down there. And so you could help us in trying to get the authorities to give us what we call the binders. So we have to do some light grading and the cutting of some trees that we have to get a machine to push it out instead of cutting it. So you could help us in that area. But we want to bring this beach right back to what it used to be because it used to be a number one beach in the Ollies. Beautiful day.
All right,
White sand.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, learning about new beaches. I've never been to that one.
And that's...
So I had to check that one
I've been
out.
down Malmong, but not to that one.
Yeah, so I was saying now that one of the problems that they've found from the Caribbean region is a lack of scientific papers. There are several reasons for that. It's not that we do not have people that are capable in the region to be putting together scientific papers and scientific reports. One of the problems we have is that brain drain. A lot of the people that we do have that are capable of doing that have migrated to the United States and Canada and UK and Europe and other places. They are working out there, and as such, their scientific papers are being sent from those countries and not from their home countries. But there's also a problem when it comes to application of scientific knowledge within the Caribbean region as to develop new products. There's no way we should be having the amount of seaweed and our scientists aren't working to find out. I was looking, I'm going to mention it, I was looking at a program from back in 1990-something. Actually, I was looking at that online yesterday, and I was seeing in one particular country they were using seaweed, not the same sargassum that we have, but the chemical component is probably the same. They were using that to make medical bandages. Yeah, they were taking it, they were adding certain substances to it, and they were using that to make medical bandages. In other words, bandage for when you have a cut and different things like that. And these were more absorbent than the others that they were using cotton and so on to do. So it may be something for scientists locally and regionally to look into. Next thing you want, more seaweed, come here, want the seaweed done, because you have to pay to buy it and you have to grow it to just coming in. So you're taking that and you're doing what you have to do. We have a caller online.
Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, brother Devon. How
Yes.
you do?
Yes, good morning.
Sheldon, good morning.
Morning.
What I calling for, I want you to give out the senior citizen payment today.
It's
started today?
It starts, oh yes, the week before, so it will start today, yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
It's every third, the month are carrying every third Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
And if the month carrying 5 Thursday, is the 4th Thursday. So I want to give out the senior citizen because they calling me, oh God, me Jacob, so I putting it over there, give them right.
Okay, no problem, my dear.
Thank you very much, and I you have a God bless day.
All right, thank you so very much. All right, love you too. Bye-bye.
Jacob.
Yes, indeed. Entrepreneurship, the importance of entrepreneurship to national development. Yeah? What we're going to do? We're going to see the seaweed here and we're going to leave it until somebody comes from some other country and decides that they're going to take the seaweed and they're going to start to see if it could make bandages too. And then they're going to they'll set up a company and they will come in and they will start to take it and they'll start to buy up all the seaweed. So you have fellas going out with boat just to get seaweed and bringing seaweed, and you have people employed by them now to go, and when we see it there all the time and we just saying it's annoying and not thinking of different ways that we can use it. Whether I can use it in a biodigester to try and create biogas, methane and so on, that you can then use for cooking. Yeah? There are many things that we have to change our approach to, because while some of us just see it as an annoying happening every year, there are others who are looking at that and all they're seeing is dollar signs. They're seeing that it could be millions upon millions of dollars. We have a call online.
Good morning and welcome. Good morning. Hey, boss. Morning.
Just I must try and get that line, but that line is still low, boy, real low.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, because in this Grenada thing, you say that was a recent thing.
It came out yesterday, I believe.
Yeah, because I know that time they also vote for best decision thing there.
Mm-hmm.
So what I would like you to do, if you go to send that for that guy GBN, I think Godfrey, I think he must send up for him because he seems to be like a negative person so much that he not only highlighting on negativity, so just give him up some positivity. No, send that to he, and a guy was dating him with a Polish on him. I don't know the guy, he have a Polish on him. They are only the criticism. See, I guys since about the referendum, criticizing everything angry like that, they don't highlighting nothing positive. I don't know if GBN sponsor that, I don't know, but I like that looks like a regular occurrence, negativity and criticizing people's language and all kind of thing. I think people, man, they must be more positive, and they could balance it. If you don't give a negative, but you give a positive, but not highlight only negative alone, and take care of yourself, at least in a day.
All right, brother.
Have a wonderful day.
440737. Yeah, Grandans Beach, number 1.
347-329-3101.
Devon, the fogging anyway today?
Yes.
Where the fogging
The
today?
continuation of fogging in Telescope.
Let me just get the phone line though. Someone's on the line.
Good morning and welcome.
Hi, good morning, Sheldon Davis. Good morning.
Morning.
my friend.
We want to speak about Grenada Beach.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to try to preserve it. This festive season that's coming up there with all the oil and all the kind of whatever.
Excellent.
We have to try to disallow that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
No oil oil on the beach.
Yes.
All right.
All right, brother.
I love that interjection you just made. We are into the spice mass.
Yeah, so don't come out Juve and feel you're going on Grenada Beach and leave your old oily clothes.
Yeah. Or even anywhere around the Carnage and this place and them kind of things.
Or you're going to play jab and you go and oil up on the beach.
Yeah. Or in the rivers. Going and bathe in the rivers and have all the oil, and so that has some serious effects. So be mindful of that.
I still believe in the future we need to look at greasing and degreasing areas. We have to set up some areas where you could go and you could oil up there, and then you de-oil there. Instead of this thing just ending up any way you're passing around the botanical garden. Well, so Eric Matthew Gary roundabout, and a set of old oil, they have to come and show a set of sand. We must have oiling and de-oiling areas.
But, Sheldon, and we have to bring some more rules and so into this whole thing, jab. Because this tar and old oil and thing, this thing is not something that we used to be used in the past.
Jab is not about rules, eh?
No, but but you see, at some
That's
point,
part of the problem.
But no, but that's a problem right there, right? Because you must have some form of regulation, right? If you want to safeguard a lot of things, including our environment, which is so close to us.
But Devon,
You know?
looking at the entrepreneurship aspect of things, right? When you're speaking about entrepreneurship and so, when it comes to the issue of like the same jab and all that sort of thing, there are ways that you could make money off of these things, you know. There are ways that you could make money, but just everybody's just interested in put on the oil and play jab.
Yeah, but
nobody's looking at the economic aspect of it.
Of taking it out
We have
and
a
everything.
caller.
Good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
Hi, morning.
Right. Good morning, Mr. Scott and Devon.
Yes,
Morning,
sir, good morning.
First of all, Devon, I heard you complaining about the prices and so on and vendors. I hope you're not complaining at mine because my price is reasonable.
Hey, but you are the best price.
You don't want me to raise the price, I go, Michelle.
No, don't do that.
All right. Anyway, Mr. Scott, every time I hear agriculture, it's like pet.
Mm-hmm.
What's happening in the agriculture, Mr. Scott, to get into agriculture? The input of agriculture is very expensive. And that's one of the main problems as farmers we are going through. Just imagine, the people who sell the seeds and so on. They purchase this in the seeds in large packet. And they single it out in ounces, Mr. Scott. And when you look at the price, it's real high. I mean, that is the problem that we farmers are going through. Even the fertilizer again is another problem again. So, in other words, when I heard them people saying about young farmers don't want to get into agriculture, it is hard for them. The amount they will have to put out to start agriculture, to start a little plot or something. In other words, you will want to use them, they will want to buy the best seeds. But the best seed is very expensive, so they will go and get the, not the hybrid, which is the cheaper one, and they won't get much yield from it.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the problem, what's really going on with the agriculture system.
So
you have somebody private people who brings in the seed and take it from me. They are comparing the other company prices and so on, and just taking off a few cents, a few dollars, and selling it very expensive. So that is another problem. Another thing again, Mr. Scott, when I hear people talking about mango wasting and this wasting, what the government is doing, what they don't build this agro thing, agro plants and so on to do these mangoes and so on. Now, why the private sector don't get involved and do it? Why the same people complain why government don't do it? Why they don't get involved and do it? I remember hearing so much plans that the government will be trying with citrus and so on. Nothing come out of it. You have mango, just a few mango will be around just for a few weeks, a couple of days. When it's done, what the plant will do? So I think one of the people who making this noise about open a factory for mango and this and that. And another one again, they always talk about we had the PRG had a plant producing nectar. Every time I hear these things, Mr. Scott, who don't know better, we just laugh, we will just continue that. Who don't know better, like me, I knows better. Because this nectar thing wasn't going nowhere at all. It's just like the nutmeg. They bought the nutmeg and they had it stored up there. The nectar, they had it, some of them used to be on the shelf in the shop. People don't buy it. The nectar used to be packed up even after the invasion. Most of them was in a storeroom in frequent year. I know I was in the Grenada area. I used to supply the Cubans with food. I know. So when people talk about factories and so on, and government build factories, this is a matter of talk.
Mm-hmm. The building is one thing.
All right.
And
to talk about it this morning.
Okay.
You raised a point with the whole question of the nectar, and he has a serious point. Yes, the PRG, right, try to bring in that sort of mentality where we produce most of the local things to eat and to drink and so. But again, as you rightly said, the local support for these things were not there. But again, I could argue with you and say, look, the revolution only lasted for 4.5 years, right? If it had was given a chance, an opportunity to continue, perhaps we may have seen a difference in the way we, these industries and so on.
You see, Devon, it comes again to the mentality. Yes, the revolution may have had the factory. They may have been producing it. Were the Grenadian people locked into the idea and understood that it was important to be utilizing what was being produced?
It will take some time.
Yeah. And that's why I'm saying that there needs to be a mentality shift. We need to look at how. Not just that we need these things made. Yes, mango wasting. So you take the mango. So you make jelly. You make the kind of cheese and thing with it. You make jam. You make... you could take the skin, because you could eat mango skin. You could cook and eat mango skin. Ashtray Dadians eat it and anchar and thing all the time. You're eating the mango skin. The only thing you don't eat is the seed. And probably have a way to cook that if you look sharp too. So you can eat the different things over a period of time. But what happens here? Grenada spends millions of dollars buying all sorts of snacks from places like Trinidad and Barbados and other countries. Snacks, Sunshine Snacks. I have nothing against Sunshine Snacks. I have nothing against the company. I have nothing against the importers. But I'm saying that whereas even in the 1980s and coming up in the 1990s, the average child snack might have been to Skin Up or whatever was in season, whether it's Tambran or
banana.
Yeah, whatever was in season at that point in time or close at hand, that was the snack. These days when children talk about snack, it's a case where give me your money, let me run in the shop.
Always the money.
Let me get a package or something for more plastic to end up in the waste and for more of the sugars and the unhealthy chemicals to end up in the children. Whereas before it was the Skin Up, it was the guava, which you're hardly seeing now. You're hardly seeing guava now. Devon, you know where to find guava right now?
Yeah, I mean, but they're not
plentiful.
But
yeah.
One tree.
So it's hard. You're hardly finding these things now. Yeah. So how do we, instead of just complaining about it, how do we decide that we're going to take that and make some money?
I think it individually from as a people from the households, it has to start there. One of the things that I does to Isaiah in particular, he always tell me, Daddy, bring up a snack or something for me, and I always in turn I look for banana or mango or something, right? And when Daddy, you bring up a thing, I say, yeah. When he see the mango and the thing, he watches in a kind of way. Sort of, because he expected for me to bring something in a packet like biscuit or whatever. But when I bring the fruit for him, he watch it and then, the reaction change and he dives down into it. So I think we, as a people, we need to train. It goes right back again to where we set our standards from the home. We need to, enlighten the children, right, about what is important, what is healthy. Right, and if what it can do for you as an individual in the future, and everything like that. It's a whole, not re-education, but
there has to be a difference in the approach.
Different.
A young man on the weekend takes his weed whacker, weed eater, whatever you want to call it, and he goes out and he cuts a 2-yard and so. What's stopping him from joining up with some other fellas and having a business name and saying that, okay, we are now going to provide this service? After a while, you might see one of them get a license and they're driving a van and they're driving a van and they're going and they're doing these things. You have to start thinking of things outside of the realm of just I make a money and I'm done.
Yeah, and that's it.
But how can you develop that? And then why does it have to stop there? They could open a nursery and decide that they're doing plants. And they're providing plants for people and so on.
And not only the nursery, the same grass that they cut in, they can gather it and compose it, make it into manure and sell it back to the farmers or even the same householders for their plants and for the agricultural produce and so. So there's a lot of byproducts that comes out of a lot of the raw materials and even some of the things that we get involved in. There's a lot of things that we have to.
I didn't know about what I said about putting love letter in the mango seed. I don't know about that. We have a call out line.
Good morning and welcome. Good morning.
How you doing, man?
Not too bad.
You okay, man?
Everything good, man?
Yeah, for the time being.
Vaughn.
Hey, where you seen, Papa?
Good, man. How things otherwise?
Going okay for the time being.
Good, man. I know you say I'm calling you, but I wasn't in the island.
Okay. I know how that goes.
Yes. But everything good?
Yeah.
I just healing up all you, man.
But you have to pass in and check when you get a chance.
Yeah, I'll pass in and check all you, all right?
All right, blessings.
All right, brother. One love.
Okay.
Yeah. Sheldon Foggin, just before we
Where the fogging today?
Grenville, the tongue of Grenville today, right? The Ministry of Health fogging team will be in the tongue of Grenville and its surroundings environs, okay? So those of you living, right, who have business places and also living in the tongue of Grenville, pay attention to that. From 5 this evening, the fogging team will be in Grenville.
So the business people, the people who have their businesses in the town of Grenville, they should try and hang around.
They should hang around.
Today's Thursday, that's when Grenville was closed early.
Well, yes.
Well,
some places used to, not before. It didn't have it's gonna have they think very few businesses and that kind of thing. So they need to stay around, pay attention, because a lot of these when you look at the surroundings of Grenville, you know that there's a lot of places that you will find mosquitoes breeding and everything like
Somebody
that.
tell me when they fog yesterday, they run all the mosquito from telescope down in Grenville. So now they're going behind them.
They're going behind them again, yeah. The few that get away, they're going down to Grenville behind them.
So those of you that have businesses in Grenville, if you can hang around for a while this afternoon to at least keep your place open, because what you may find is that they fog outside and then you open tomorrow and the mosquitoes are still around because they're inside by you. So if you can hang around, it won't leave a stench on your stuff.
Yeah.
The scent will pass after a little while.
The only thing to pay attention, those of you who operate restaurants and so within the area, pay particular attention, right, as to the area, well, it's Grenville, so you have to take the necessary precautions, right? And I'm talking specifically to the restaurants and those who supply foods and so and drinks for people to eat. Okay?
Yeah, be very careful with that.
Very, very careful.
So, Devon, what we've been saying for today is that we as individuals, as a nation, as people, we need to relook.
Yes.
You see, we lost Patois because of the same kind of attitude. We lost Patois because as soon as the big people talking, they don't want the little children around to understand, so they chase them.
Move them.
And that's how we lost a lot of other crafts that people used to have here, like shoemakers. Who was making the shoes. And I'm not talking about guys making sandals here. I'm talking about guys that made shoes, full shoes. That sometimes the shoemaker ain't want nobody around him because he alone want to make the money in the village. So every time a young fella come around and he try to learn something, he say, move there. Come from around there. So he doesn't learn. And now we've lost that craft. Who if you want a shoe made right now, who are you going to?
That's the thing. I had an uncle.
You could get sandals made.
Yeah. I had an uncle who was a blacksmith in Grenville, Romain guy, and so. But after him, who really pick up, that trade, and so we have lost a lot of things from the past, and we need, as you say, we need to change, right, our attitude towards development of oneself and of the country. We need to take different approaches. We need to try more things that can, make us more independent as a people, both in our homes and as a country, right? So I mean, it's and look, agriculture, right? Agriculture, and most of what we spoke about this morning, if you look at it closely, you would see that agriculture was tied, right, to most of these business people who have established great empires, in Grenada, I would call, and so agriculture was one of the base.
There's always that connection. No matter which one of them, there's always that connection.
Either they started in agriculture or they're into agriculture right now, whether it is cocoa, nutmeg, bananas, whatever.
And folks, remember again, first beach Condé Nast travelers speak about Grenada's Grand Anne's Beach. And you heard the words that they spoke about. Yeah, they spoke. When they spoke about Grenada's Grand Anne's Beach, rated number 1. I know some people ain't go like to hear that.
Yeah, well.
They will go and say all kind of things though. Anyway, but rated number 1. And remember to support Damian Daniel.
Yes.
Yeah, remember to support him. He needs your support. Yeah.
Another one of our athletes who have been doing great things out there.
So he's heading to St. Martin next week. He needs your support. 538-2378. Call Damian.
Yeah, and he's looking for his 16th one under his belt. He has 15 already, right? He's looking for his 16th.
He's a strong fella, don't worry. He could lift the belt.
Yeah, he could handle it.
He could lift the belt.
Definitely handle it.
He could lift all them championships. Yeah.
Even lift those contestants with him too. Good morning, Damian. Hey, we hope that everything goes well with you, my brother.
Yeah, man. We know that you're going to do us proud once again.
And we're rooting for you. It's one thing. HARDTALK is rooting for you, bro.
that is all the time we've got for Hard Talk today. It's been wonderful being here with you. In whatever you say and do it safe and secure. We want to be speaking to and with you.
And not about you.
We are heading out of here.
Grenada's economy is heading for its 7th year of consistent growth, averaging over 5%. Unemployment was reduced by 20%, while debt to GDP ratio was reduced from 108% to 63.5%. NNP committed to the economic and social development of our people. NNP delivering on the promise.
Hello, my name is Michaela Williams, winner of the Festival of the Arts Secondary School Solo Pan Competition. And these are my colleagues.
We are members of the Full Comanchero Steel Orchestra, your current Panorama champions.
Having won 3 of the last 4 Panorama competitions in Spice Mass.
We are inviting you to Spice Mass 2019, especially junior and senior Panorama, at the National Stadium on Saturday, 10th August 2019.
Come and enjoy the experience, the excitement, and the skills of the players of the various steel orchestra. Suzuki Pan Wizards,
Republic Bank Angel Apps,
New Dimension,
Panacea,
Melody Warriors,
Rainbow City All-Stars, Ranroy Pan Angels, Digital Florida All-Stars,
and of course, Flow Comancheros.
After Panorama, you can join us on the road for Juve and Parade of the Bands on Monday the 12th and Tuesday the 13th of August.
Spice Mass 2019. Don't miss it.
It was regarded by many as the best fest for Carnival 2018. This year, it's back, bigger and better. The second edition of the Waggy Tea Premium All-Inclusive Fete on Thursday, August 8th at 8 p.m. at the Montrouge Recreational Park. This is not just a fete, it's a total premium all-inclusive affair. From Trinidad, Ravi B and the band Karma. From Barbados, Peter Ram. From St. Vincent, Skinny Fabulous.
'Cause when we roll, we don't roll alone.
And from Grenada, Jefferson Ramirez and Solid the Band, Inspector, Dash, Wasways, Shortpree, Fawn, DJ Chemist, and Danny. Early bird tickets cost $350. Prepare to be amazed.
Only the few will see when you set the bar, but everyone will know when you've raised it.
Welcome to party. Hey, we are the greatest.
We have done it again in this, the era of greatness, with the biggest white.
We bring the most vibes.
Watch greatness unfold with Mr. Killer, Wasways, and Lava Man, and more of Grenada's best, featuring headliner Marshall Montano and the Monk Band.
We great, absolutely.
Be at the National Cricket Stadium on Saturday, August 10th. Get your tickets now from gotofed.com and all Sunshine Promotions box offices. The biggest white. It's where greatness lives.
We are the greatest.
Grenada's economy is heading for its 7th year of consistent growth, averaging over 5%. Unemployment was reduced by 20%, while debt to GDP ratio was reduced from 108% to 63.5%. NNP committed to the economic and social development of our people. NNP delivering on the promise.
Grenada collaborates with the University of Southern Caribbean to offer nutrition courses at the bachelor degree level. We'll have details to this story and more when we return. With the details to the news for Wednesday, July 17th, I am Rikisha St. Louis. Grenadians are being encouraged to join the fight against the rise of non-communicable diseases. That call by the University of Southern Caribbean, which is partnering with the government of Grenada for a 5th year to promote its bachelor degree program in nutrition dietetics. The 4-year program takes into account the increasing number of cases of non-communicable diseases and the dire need for action. Program Director Dr. Claudette Mitchell highlighted the significance of the international program.
The program is designed to help with the development and advancement of students within the region so that they can help the region at this point in time in terms of coping with the non-communicable diseases.
Okay.
It is therefore helpful in the training, and as of such, this is our 5th year in Grenada.
The bachelor's degree program has various components of training prior to internship. It covers research, community, and medical nutrition.
The student would learn nutrition care management of patients, those in the disease state, such as if they have diseases like heart disease, diabetes, cancer, etc., as well as it would train students to provide nutrition and wellness in the prevention of disease. So you have 2 arms of the program working together. The students are trained in components of medical nutrition therapy. They are also trained in community nutrition, as well as in food service systems management and research. So we have all these components coming together that can train the student to become a dietitian. At the end of the program, this program is linked with Oakwood University in Huntsville, Alabama.
Okay.
So at the end of the program, the student is eligible to enter into an international dietetics internship.
The university is also partnering with Grenada's lone tertiary institution, T. Marisha Community College. Grenadian students are allowed to commence their degree program at the local college for 2 years.
They can begin here at 2 years, and then after graduation they transfer into the University of the Southern Caribbean for the 2nd component of the program, and they can get a full bachelor's degree.
Government is seeking to continuously engage the youth through various programs geared at their holistic development. One of these is the National Summer Program, which runs from July 22nd to August 1st, targeting students aged 10 to 16. Each constituency will have access to a center for the program. During the weekly post-cabinet briefing, Minister with responsibility for youth development, Honorable Kate Lewis, spoke to the intended benefits of the program.
Is to ensure that our students can communicate well with each other, improve their literacy skills, their communication skills, to realize their civic responsibilities, to get themselves involved in sports, culture as well. Because as a government, we realize the importance of engaging our young people throughout the year.
The program includes a community service component which will teach the participants the importance of giving back to their communities. The minister has extended an invitation to those desirous of participating in the program to contact the Ministry of Youth Development, constituency officers, and the youth officers. The program culminates on August 2nd with a closing ceremony. Other programs that seek to engage the youth are WeiVybz and the Empower program. This is the National Report. We'll have more news after the break.
Every summer, the Spice Island of Grenada is transformed into the Caribbean's biggest party, Spice Man.
Foreigners from all over coming down to Grenada.
Come experience the warmth of our people, trending theme fest, the revelry, the pageantry, and why we are the Jab Nation. The Kids Our Future shines on August 3rd in the Children's Carnival Frolic and the Junior Calypso Show. 7 beauties take center stage as the Queen of Carnival is crowned on majestic Thursday, August 8th. The prestigious Soca and Groovy Monarchs are crowned on Carnival Friday night, August 9th. Enjoy the pulsating rhythms of the Still Pan at the Junior and the Senior Panorama on Carnival Saturday, August 10th, and Real Steel, August 17th. The March Gras crowns the Calypso Monarch on Carnival Sunday, August 11th. 2 days of frolicking in the Caribbean sun kicks off on Monday morning, August 12th, with the biggest Juve in the world. followed by pageant and Monday night mass. The creativity and splendor of our mass parades on the road Carnival Tuesday, August 13. Join us in the Jab Nation of Grenada, August 8 to 12 for Spice Mass 2019. Many events, one carnival.
Welcome back. Minister for Agriculture, Honorable Yolande Bain Horsford, has commended the high level of operations at the Diamond Chocolate Factory in St. Mark. During a recent visit, the minister spoke of the strides made, which is resulting in a quality end product. Details in this report by Karima Lewis, Public Relations Officer in the Ministry of Agriculture.
The tour was led by manager of the establishment, Andrew Hastic. Hastic noted that the local consumption of the chocolate is currently at a 15% rate.
There was a survey by the government of Grenada in 1999, poverty survey. And it says that food is available on the island, but not accessible. So what the factory did, it makes all the food that was available everywhere, it makes it now accessible to people. So we expect to see more and more people accessing cocoa. All right? No one knew that cocoa was just like a fruit before the factory to us. Now it's a food. So as it becomes more and more accessible, we'll have more and more people eating chocolate.
As the manager of the company, Hastic is quite pleased to know where the company is going.
But when we wrote the project document, we are supposed to be at negative growth now. The parent company was supposed to be financing the operations here still. That is no more. This company buys its cocoa from the parent company, competitive price. It risen to a maturity in a short period of time that we never expected. The technocrats who knew about chocolate from Switzerland and Belgium and the USA, they are not here, as you can see. And Grenadian people are doing it. I am saying that if things continue like that, making the cocoa more now accessible to people as a food, it's anyone's guess where we will reach. It's anyone's guess. So I think it's one of the biggest blessings to any country to have second stage development, not only primary. And now if you look across the street, we are going to third stage.
Minister Bain Horsford says the inclusion of the restaurant will be a good addition to the business there.
Very soon we would have a restaurant here to complement the whole thing when the tourists come. And even our locals, you know, we can get the flavors of the chocolate factory and sit in the ambience of cocoa field area so that people can really enjoy and feel, you know, the whole concept of this development here, you know. So it's excellent, and you know, I'm glad that the industry is taking it more seriously. The point is being shown here, getting the tourist piece, you know, the whole mix, and blending the whole thing into one, you know, so that we can benefit all from it.
For the Ministry of Agriculture, I am Karima Lewis.
The Public Health Department in the Ministry of Health says life continues after Carnival. The ministry is beefing up its pre-Carnival education drive as concerns surface regarding an increase in cases of sexually transmitted infections and diseases around that time of year. Senior Medical Officer Dr. Francis Martin says anyone of any age can contract an STI or STD. He stressed the need for Grenadians to take precautionary measures and protect themselves, as the season only lasts for a few days, but the effects of the disease can be lifelong.
There is a sharp rise in sexually transmitted infections and also sexually transmitted diseases, because someone can have a sexually transmitted infection but not the disease associated with it, and for that reason you yourself may not know that that person has a sexually transmitted infection. So we need to be careful around this season because we expect to see a rise in that. Another thing we expect to see a rise in is unwanted pregnancies and miscarriages and abortions thereafter. And so from a public health standpoint, it's important that people recognize the risks associated around the season and take the necessary precautionary measures.
He said what is alarming is the heightened number of cases among children.
We have been seeing an increase in syphilis among the older population as well, and that is something we need to be concerned about because it's also reflecting in the amount of new infections we see among the sexually active population. And so overall, there is really no serious age range per se, but to say that we all need to be concerned that we're also seeing this in the children, which is something that we should not be able to condone in our society.
The senior medical officer says there are currently over 300 individuals living with HIV in Grenada. He says from 2015 to 2018, Grenada has recorded a drop in the number of new infections after over 30 years of steady increases in HIV cases. That story just ended the national report for today, Wednesday, July 17th. Let's recap the top story. Grenada collaborates with the University of Southern Caribbean to offer nutrition courses at the bachelor degree level. On behalf of everyone here at the Government Information Service who made this newscast possible, I am Rakisha St. Louis saying thank you for joining us. Until next time.
In 30 minutes. You could be on one of our 45 black and white sand beaches, or perched atop a lush mountainside admiring our stunning coastline, or slicing the Caribbean Sea on a traditionally built sloop, or adventuring off the beaten path, or hanging out with our underwater sculptures, or do nothing at all. Whatever you choose, an amazing vacation is only 30 minutes away in Grenada. Visit www.puregrenada.com.
Every summer, the Spice Island of Grenada is transformed into the Caribbean's biggest party, Spice Man.
Well, foreigners from all over, coming down to Grenada.
Come experience the warmth of our people, trending theme fats, the revelry, the pageantry, and why we are the Jab Nation. The Kids Our Future shines on August 3rd in the Children's Carnival Frolic and the Junior Calypso Show. 7 beauties take center stage as the Queen of Carnival is crowned on majestic Thursday, August 8th. The prestigious Soca and Groovy Monarchs are crowned on Carnival Friday night, August 9th. Enjoy the pulsating rhythms of the Still Pan at the Junior and the Senior Panorama on Carnival Saturday, August 10th, and Real Steel, August 17th. The March Gras crowns the Calypso Monarch on Carnival Sunday, August 11th. 2 days of frolicking in the Caribbean sun kicks off on Monday morning, August 12th, with the biggest Juve in the world. Followed by pageant and Monday night mass. The creativity and splendor of our mass parades on the road Carnival Tuesday, August 13th. Join us in the Jab Nation of Grenada, August 8th to 12th for Spice Mass 2019. Many events, one carnival.
On the $50.
The back of the $50 bears the image of former governor of the ECCB, the late Honorable Sir K. Dwight Venner.
New signature.
All the notes bear the signature of the current governor, Timothy N.J. Antoine.
Grenada's economy is heading for its 7th year of consistent growth, averaging over 5%. Unemployment was reduced by 20%, while debt to GDP ratio was reduced from 108% to 63.5%. NNP committed to the economic and social development of our people. NNP delivering on the promise.
It's coming, the new family of EC Polymer Notes.
What is different about these notes?
The feel.
Polymer notes are made from a thin plastic film which makes the notes feel smoother than the paper notes.
The orientation.
The notes have a portrait orientation. You will read the notes from top to bottom instead of left to right as you do with the paper notes.
Unique tactile feature.
The front of each note has raised bumps at the top left-hand corner. These bumps form shapes that are familiar to you.
Holographic foil strip.
This feature is on the $20, $50, and $100. When you tilt the notes, the images and colors in this section will change.
New image on the $50.
The back of the $50 bears the image of former governor of the ECCB, the late Honorable Sir Dwight Venner.
New signature.
All the notes bear the signature of the current governor, Timothy N.J. Antoine.
EC Polymer Notes. Cleaner, safer, stronger.
Stay up to date with all that's happening with the new National Party, NNP. Send us a message via text or WhatsApp on 405-8683 with your name, email, and constituency. Stay in the know with NNP. Get updated.